So I'm back with a updated look to my controller collection. So this will be, as I say, just an update to the previous video, but it'll include all the controllers released up till the end of 2018. So, as you can see, there's quite a few. Let's go over to the start. So, first one is the I Made This Launch Team Edition. So this was only ever given out to Microsoft employees who worked on the launch of the original Xbox One. As I mentioned in the previous video, it's made of like a rubbery type material. There's not any other controllers been made like this since, so it is a nice one to have. Then we've got the completely standard Xbox One controller, just the V1, first version they brought out for the Xbox One, just in black. Then we've got the Day One edition, which is for the English US version. As you'll see later, there's a few other Day One versions. Then there's the Titanfall controller, which is the first limited edition controller that you could buy independently of having included with the console. Then we've got the Day One controller. So this is a controller that was included with the European launch of Xbox One, because some European countries got it, I want to say like possibly a year later, may not have been that long, may have been a few months after everyone else, and obviously at that point it wasn't 2013, so they just opted for Day One on there. And then we've got the China Day One, so again different launch period, and they've just put China on it instead. I actually got this controller before I even started collecting controllers, because I wanted to basically double up on the achievements you could get in the Master Chief Collection, because that had like a Chinese variant, but you needed a Chinese console because the Chinese one is, or the Chinese Xbox One is the only one that's region locked. So I actually imported a Day One Chinese console, and obviously got this controller, which lucky I did, because I probably wouldn't have known about it otherwise. Then we got the camouflage controller. You'll see a very similar one to this pop up quite a few times in this video. This is the first version. And then we've got standard white controller, which is a bundle only controller. I've completely forgotten at this point any bundles that you could get it in. I think it was Sunset Overdrive, but might have been a couple others. Then we've got Midnight Forces, which is obviously similar to the camouflage controller, just in blue. Then we've got a Call of Duty Advanced Warfare controller. And this one's quite nice with the gold D-pad. It's quite a lot of detail on there as well. Let's go over to the revised Xbox One controller. So when they revised it from the first version, they enabled it so you could click down the top of the bumpers, because a lot of people complained about that on the original controllers. And then they also added the 3.5mm jack as well. So previous ones didn't have that. We've got another camouflage controller. This one is Covert Forces, sort of grey-black. It's quite nice. Then we've got the Forza Motorsport 6 controller. I believe you could get this in a bundle with the console as well. But I didn't bother getting the console with that, just the controller. So yeah, it's another nice one. Nice touch with the metallic triggers. the Lunar White controller. A fan favourite. A lot of people like this. Gold triggers, gold D-pad. It's just a nice design overall. Then again with the camouflage controller, this time it's more or less exactly the same as the camouflage one, except it's a new revised model. Obviously all at this point it will be with the jack and the new bumpers. And then something I noticed in the other video, the other one has a chrome D-pad, this one's just a black D-pad. Then we've got the Master Chief controller. So the special edition that came out with Halo 5. Nice controller. Got these was it bronze-ish triggers. And then along with that we've got the, wow, I don't know what they call this controller, but everyone I know calls it the Agent Lock controller, but Microsoft don't call it that. They call it the Halo 5 controller, even though it's clearly Agent Lock. So I don't know why they didn't bother naming it that. Then we've got the Elite controller. So obviously removable thumbsticks, D-pad, all that. You can play with those. Yeah, very good controller. Hopefully we'll get a new one soon, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Then we've got the white one again, but revised. So jack, bumpers, etc. The first in a long line of shadow controllers. So starts dark at the bottom, sort of fades up to blue at the top. It's also got matte bumpers and triggers, which was the first. No, and the D-pad as well, matte. And then similar for the copper shadow. And then we've got the first of the S-type controller. So it's a one-piece sort of design. It's a one-piece now, it's not two separate bits of plastic. It's got Bluetooth in it as well, which the previous ones didn't. Still uses the Xbox Wireless Protocol to connect to the Xbox. Doesn't use Bluetooth because you wouldn't want it to, because it's crap. Only use Bluetooth when you connect it to PC and you've got no other choice. Well, you can't use the Xbox Wireless adapter. Yeah, when this first came out, this design, I didn't really like the look of it. I was a bit dubious of it, but now I like it way more than the old design. Seeing it looks a lot sleeker. And then my favourite controller out of all of these is the Crimson Omen Gears of War controller. Just look at it. It's just beautiful. The detail. You got the etchings in there. It's actually carved out in the controller. It's just so nice. And then you've got the JD Felix controller, which again, these are all etched out here as well. Almost as good as the Crimson, but the red just does it for me. And then we've got the Gears of War 4 Elite, which is the only limited edition Elite they've released so far. Really like this D-pad with the little holes in. Another thing is, it actually says here, on mine it says never fight alone. So they're under the thumbstick. I can't remember exactly, but I think it was like 6 or 7 different things it could say underneath that. And at one point I did contemplate trying to get all 6 or 7, but that'd be insane. That just cost like thousands. And trying to get all the different ones, nah, not gonna happen. If anyone does have all of them, all the different versions of this Elite, let me know, send me videos or a picture or something, because that would be cool to see. But yeah, I just couldn't do that. So next up, probably my least favourite controller out of all of these. Just don't like it. It's just blue. It's just blue. That's it. Just a blue controller. Don't like it. So we'll quickly move on to the Dawn Shadow, which I really like this. This is a slightly different texture. It's quite smooth finish to it. And as opposed to the Copper and Dusk Shadow we saw earlier, the dark bit starts at the top as opposed to the bottom. And obviously been on new design as well. So yeah, it's a nice one. Then we've got the military green. So I believe you could only get this with the Battlefield 1 bundle. So yeah, it's a quite a nice controller. These next three, I quite like them, even though they're quite plain. It's got military green. Then we've got Storm Grey, which is another bundle controller. Can't remember what with, something. Then I'm drawing a blank, something blue, maybe. Something. It's a something controller, let's put it that way. Yeah, it's another bundle controller. It's just a nice blue controller. Standard red controller, much like the blue one, just red. Meh, it's okay. Don't hate it as much as the blue. Then we've got standard black. One thing I should mention is I'm trying to do this in order of when they're released, which is probably not got it exactly right, but as close as what I can remember as I can. But this black one, it took blooming ages for them to bring out a standard black one for the S controller. God knows why. But yeah, black S controller. Then we've got one that's very similar to the military green, but it's got this orange accents underneath the thumbsticks. Then there's the Winter Forces controller. So going all the way back to the sort of camo controller, it's a very similar design, obviously now on the S model in white and grey. Then the Ocean Shadow, which is another obviously shadow controller, another nice one. And now we've got a new series here, which is the Recon Tech, well, the Tech series of controllers. This one's the Recon Tech. So yeah, these were quite nice series of controllers. Got all these sort of random markings in the middle. I'm sure that means something. And then sort of a textured pattern on the front here. Got the rubberized grips as well. Patrol Tech, very similar to the Recon Tech. And then Combat Tech, again similar to the others, just different patterns in the middle, different colours as well. And we've got Volcano Shadow, it's another Shadow series, it's a nice red one. Then we're up to the grey and green one, so a bit like the military green with the orange accents. This one's obviously grey but with green accents underneath the thumbsticks. Then we've got the Minecraft. This one's the Creeper Edition. Not a Minecraft fan, but it looks pretty cool, pretty faithful to the series. And then the Minecraft Pig controller as well. And then if we swing around here, so this is the Project Scorpio Edition controller. So it's just basically a standard S controller with Project Scorpio up the top, up the middle, and then these buttons are like greyed out as well, which you don't normally get on a normal black controller. And then probably my second favourite controller is the Sea of Thieves controller, because again the amount of detail they put into this is just ridiculous. Like, just look at it. It's got the single gold trigger, which is like supposed to be like a gold tooth, like a pirate's gold tooth. Yeah, it's just amazing. The compass on there as well. It's just so nice. This is sort of embedded. This skull is embedded into the controller. It's not just painted on. all these sort of bits here all textured as well. Just amazing. And then we've got the Sport White controller, which is kind of similar to the Tech series, but not too much, just because of this bit, although this bit is not textured like the other one. And then we've got Armed Forces 2, which is a bit of a lie really. It's not really 2, it's more like 3. I'll say 3. How many have we seen? Yeah, just in the new S model. And then we've got this, which is the adaptive controller. So this was designed so that basically anyone can play Xbox, no matter what inputs you require. So this is very cool. Obviously you've got these, basically all these buttons are programmable. So you can program these to do whatever you want. And then on the top here, you can see there's like inputs for like everything on the Xbox controller. You can just plug in a 3.5mm device and have that act as the whatever you want, basically, whatever one you plug into. On the side you've got USBs for what would be the analog sticks, and then a headphone jack on the other side as well. So yeah, that's a very cool addition. Sort of out of nowhere as well. Wasn't expecting that to come out. Then we've got the Phantom Black controller, which is also very cool because it sort of fades to a sort of transparent effect at the top, so you can sort of see all the circuit board. So I'm not a fan of just straight up transparent controllers, but that is pretty cool. Then we've got the grey and blue controller. Is that even blue? Doesn't look blue, but that's what it is apparently. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Looks quite nice. And we've got this. This was not supposed to be this. This was supposed to be the Elite version 2. But it's not. I mean, what are you doing? Come Microsoft, like, what are you doing? Where's the V2? What's this? I wasn't expecting the V2, and you brought out a bloody white controller. A white Elite. It's just an Elite in white. We want the V2, not bloody white controller. Not happy. Not happy at all. But that said, it does actually look pretty nice in white. Moving on. The PUBG controller, which is pretty cool as well, quite well detailed. It's the first controller actually to include sort of grips on the triggers. It'll be interesting to see if they carry that on to any other controllers, because yeah, it's pretty cool. And then the last one to come out this year was the Gold Rush Battlefield 1 controller. So not really much different to it, just a slightly different colour to match the console. I think, yeah, I bought a Xbox One X, the Gold Rush one, and then just sold the console without the controller just to get the controller new. So yeah, last one of this year. And that's it. That's every Xbox One controller. Apart from my Design Labs ones, which I've decided to do those at the end, sort of separately, because you can't really collect all of the Design Labs ones because there's literally like millions of them, like combinations. So I'd show you the ones that I've got. I'd say just to have a complete collection, you'd say probably just want to say you've got one of them. This is the first one I got, which I had to import from the US because Design Labs wasn't out over in the UK for like a year. For this one, I took inspiration from the Livis 5 controller. If you've seen that one, that was a 360 controller. That's pretty cool. So that's sort of the colour scheme I went with for that. Then I've got another one, which is, I think, yeah, this is the first time they added the option to put the rubberized grips on and have the metallic triggers and that. So when I added those options, I made another one, which is this one. And then they added the option to give this shadow options, which I think this one was a limited one as well. I don't know if you can even get this one anymore in this colour, but I think the shadow option is still on there. Then we've got the Made E3 2017 controller. So I didn't go to E3 2017, I had to pick this up off eBay for an extortionate amount. But yeah, it's a nice controller, nice limited edition, 130 of 1,000. And then we've got a Gamescom 2017 controller. As you can see, this one's engraved with my gamer tag as well, so I did actually manage to design this and order 1, 2 or 3. So yeah, just one design by myself, and then as I ordered a couple more, just sort of generic white ones. Went with a sort of all white and metallic silver D-pad with that one, and then a sort of grey white one with this one as well. So 3 Gamescom 2017 ones. And then lastly, obviously this is not part of the official collection because it's not made by Microsoft, but it's pretty cool. It's the Hyperkin Duke controller. So it's where it all started on the original Xbox. Yeah, this is really well made considering it is a third party, and generally I hate third party controllers. But yeah, it's really nice controller to have, even if it is third party. But you know, they've done a good job, so I'm happy to add it to my collection. I've seen they've got a green one as well. I don't know if I'll pick that up or not, as I'm not too fussed about third party controllers. We'll see. We'll see how many controllers Microsoft want to release next year, because it seems to be more and more every year, and it keeps getting more and more expensive. So yeah, other than waiting for the Elite V2, there's no other controllers announced at this point. Well, the V2 ain't even announced, to be honest. It's probably been cancelled at this point, I'd say, as well, because if it was going to come out, they wouldn't have released the white controller. So it's either been cancelled or it's going to probably be another year away at least. But I'm leaning on cancelled. So we'll have to stick with this current Elite, which is still the controller I use. And it's actually this Elite that I use. It's just standard black Elite, not the one I showed you earlier. So yeah, that is a collection. I'm sure I've probably forgotten a bunch of things to say, but let me know if you've got any questions in the comments. Which one's your favourite? So until the next video, I'll catch you later.